Good morning, everyone. I see lots of folks joining the line. So happy that everyone is here this morning. Welcome to the webinar. We're going to jump right in today as we have an excellent lineup of presenters and information to share. And we want to have some time at the end for question and answer and discussion as well. So again, thank you for being here. We're excited that you've joined us for the first of a three-part webinar series about tribal innovations and success stories in healthy homes outreach. And I think right now you may be able to see some of our webcams. We are going to pop those off just because we've had some glitches this morning with the technology. So hopefully that won't happen again. But hello from our faces, and now we're here behind the scenes. Okay. Excellent. One moment. All right. This webinar is co-hosted by the Tribal Healthy Homes Network and EPA Region 10, which covers Idaho, Oregon, Washington, and Alaska. My name is Erin McTigue, and I'm with the EPA Region 10 Tribal Air Program. I'll be working with Gillian Middlestedt and the team here to co-host the webinar today. Gillian is the director of the Tribal Healthy Homes Network and a longstanding collaborator of ours on healthy homes and all sorts of air quality work. And I think you'll find that her team and the speakers today will be providing an excellent set of valuable resources for tribes interested in doing this work or already doing this work. So I'm just going to go over a few key resources this morning, and then after that I'll be turning the mic over to Gillian, who's going to be talking about a few key social marketing principles to consider as you plan your work or are already doing your work. And Gillian's also going to share some background on Tribal Healthy Homes Network, their organizations, and the resources that they have to share with tribes, such as tools and training, and in particular the Air Matters Toolkit. And then after Gillian shares some information, Sydney Jansen with the Tribal Healthy Homes Network, she's an excellent intern that's been working very hard on evaluating some data and some interview questions and information that she's been working to gather from about 16 different tribal programs who've been using tools from Tribal Healthy Homes Network, in particular the Air Matters Toolkit, and has just gathered a lot of great information to share. And then last but not least, we're going to be turning the mic over to Tiffany Losada, who's with the Porch Band of Creek Indians, the Environmental Grants Program Coordinator. And she's going to share some information about an Healthy Homes Outreach program that she adapted specifically for the needs of her community with some unique partners. So I'm excited to have all of these folks here today to share information with you. And just a few logistics up front, probably pretty similar to other webinars you've participated in. Feel free to ask questions anytime by chatting or typing into the chat box. Eileen Gagney, the technical advisor for Tribal Healthy Homes Network, will be monitoring the chat box and answering as much as she can or queuing up questions for the live Q&A. We'll have some time at the end after the set of presentations. And also know the webinar will be recorded and the slides will be made available, as well as any other resources shared after the webinar. So just to start up front with a few things that we hope you all take away, some goals for the webinar. Most importantly, just knowing that you can have an impact on community health, whether you're joining from a tribal health program, a clinic, a tribal environmental program, air quality program, or housing department. Know that you each have a unique opportunity and role to impact community health, in particular while doing this indoor air work. And I think you'll also take away from this and the next two webinars in this series that tribes are really doing some innovative work, adapting tools and programs that are out there to really meet the needs of their communities. And there are a lot of ideas that we hope that you adopt and also share with others. Excuse me. And also we hope that you leave knowing that there are resources available to support you Some of us on the phone here from EPA and Tribal Healthy Homes Network can provide training, technical support. There are tons of different materials that you can take and use for your work in your own communities and adapt them for your needs. And also there are a number of different funding streams that can allow for indoor air work. Of course, there are always a lot of priorities that pull at the different funding streams that are available. Especially for tribes who are often doing a lot of work with different sources of funding and often not enough funding. Please know that there are at least a number of resources that have some flexibility that we can hopefully help describe. In particular, a few resources that come to mind include the EPA Indian General Assistance Program, the Clean Air Act grants, HUD grants, USDA, and also Bureau of Indian Affairs, for example, the HIP program. And we do have an excellent resource to share with you in a bit, just to give you some information on how you can find different funding streams. So just to start up front, though I guess I'm kind of preaching to the choir and looking at the attendees here about why indoor air quality matters, but it's important to share and I guess remind ourselves all the time that the indoor environment is really important because we spend so much of our time here in our homes, and maybe even more so over the past year. And indoor air is often more polluted than outdoor air. And though we often think, I think the general public, is typically aware of impacts of indoor air pollutants on, our breathing systems, causing irritation to our lungs. There are also short and long-term impacts on a number of different areas for our health, our lungs, our heart, our immune system, and more. So the work that we're talking about here today really is critical for protecting health. And the good news is that there are small changes that we can make and inexpensive changes that can help protect our families and families in our communities. You'll see my daughter here in this picture looking perhaps a little bit unimpressed with my do-it-yourself filter fan that I built last summer when wildfire smoke was really bad here in Washington State. And I do think, despite the look on her face, that the air was improved because of that filter fan. So again, has been a really unprecedented year, making the work that we're doing around indoor spaces, indoor air, healthy homes even more important. Wildfire smoke was particularly horrible last year with wildfires all across the West and beyond. And of course, I don't need to go into detail, but the impact of the pandemic and COVID-19 has just been so intense. And we know that tribes in particular have been really impacted and have also just showed extreme resilience and creativity in being able to address the challenges that they faced over the past year and more. So just wanted to give a nod to that. We've really seen that tribes are leading the way and innovating and adapting their work around indoor air and other areas as well, of course, climate change and beyond. So that's why we hope to share this set of webinars with you all to showcase some of that exciting work, and just a few images that I put up here of other programs. You can see a filter fan loan program from the Quinault Indian Nation, an excellent do-it-yourself video, or a video on how to build your own filter fan, like the one I showed on the previous slide at the Colville Tribes in Washington, an image from the ice road outside of the native village of Kwethluk in Alaska, and the air quality flag program that the Tulalip tribes are implementing down on the bottom right. So one of the things that we've seen and hope to showcase in this webinar series is that the tribes and organizations who've really had a lot of success in innovating and reaching their communities have used this kind of approach of braiding different sources of funds together, whether it be EPA, HUD, USDA. I have just a few examples listed here, but there are others, as well as partnering with perhaps non-traditional entities that they haven't partnered with before within the tribe or externally to really reach their communities and accomplish their goals. And so just to finish here with a few key resources for you all to take away, and Gillian will be following up after the webinar with the links to these if you don't have them already. The Tribal Indoor Air Funding Directory is a very comprehensive set of resources, different funding streams that can be used, accessed by tribes to do indoor air, housing, energy efficiency work with really excellent search terms to help you dial into the specific resources resources that are out there that might fulfill the work that you're doing, whether it's working on wood stoves or ventilation or broader programs. It also includes case studies that are really helpful. Another key resource that I have to mention is our own agency here at the US EPA. Though we're not a housing agency and we don't do much in terms of having a lot of regulatory authority for indoor spaces, we do have a number of excellent resources that can be used. Training, technical assistance, we do a lot of coordination of partners to bring to you trainings like today's webinar. And we also provide funding again through the Indian General Assistance or IGAP program, as well as the Tribal Clean Air Act program, among a few others. So just a sampling of some of the resources that we have available to support the work in your communities. I've just put a few snapshots of some of the key resources that have been popular with tribes in Region 10 and timely as well. So mold and moisture resources are always really critical. We see a lot of mold and moisture in our homes, mine included. Work around some resources around wood smoke and home heating, how to build a a firewood storage shed, and then also some resources specifically related to COVID-19. We have a website that's being updated all the time to include the latest science as the COVID-19 research evolves. We have a lot more information here about indoor air and coronavirus that might be of use to you. Additionally, related to wildfire smoke and COVID-19, there's a resource around air cleaners in your home that might be of interest. And lastly, I just wanted to put in a quick plug that Tribal Healthy Homes Network and EPA have been working really closely together for about a year now to update the very popular and beautiful calendars that have resident education, healthy homes, tips and tools for each season of the year. And so we have some printed copies that are going to be made available in Region 10 coming soon. And we've also developed a new poster that could be posted in a health clinic or another community space, and also tailored to your needs. So feel free to reach out to us if you're interested in these, and we'll also make sure to share the links to where they can be printed and how-tos, guidance for how to print them when they're available within the next month or so. That being said, I'm just going to briefly throw up our contact information here, but we'll share it again at the end. Feel free to reach out to us with any questions. And I am going to turn the mic over to Gillian.